Hello and welcome to the World Championship Round 5, Game 4. This is the three-player game between me and Miroslav and DrRerNate. Let's look at the standings real quick. And after 3 games, I am still in a 4-point lead, but I got last in my three-player game and Arne got first, so he got cut up 5 points. And I blundered in the last move, which cost me second place. So that is a bit unfortunate, but still have a good lead. And DrRerNate is one behind. If he wins that, then Sonic also goes to 8, and that is also still in contention. Miloslav is lagging behind a bit, but there's still enough games to play that he also has a chance. And of course, it depends a lot on this game. Let's look at the leaders and wonders. Bill Gates, Sid Meier, Marie Curie, plus Manhattan Project for the lab leaders, Charlie Chaplin, Flaming, Hollywood. There's also some Shakespeare, Bach, Darwin for some H2 culture to transition into these leaders for the Hollywood. And then also Gandhi to hide behind if you're playing a Bach or something. Then there's Pierre, which also might be important to set up a bit because these leaders are not so easy to set up for. Like Gandhi, you don't really set up for. Chaplin, you don't really set up for. You kind of just want the one movie in H3. Flaming, yeah. Also not really easy to set up for. So yeah, basically, except for like Bill Gates, getting scientific method for Bill Gates is relatively easy. Nothing is too easy to really get into in H3 without setup. So I think getting some bread or arenas is a bit more important than normal, and then also maybe just relying more on H2 leaders so that you don't need to transition quickly until you and then you can just keep having something like a Newton or a Cook or even a Bach or even a Shakespeare um, that you can actually keep around doing a great job or good job until you find some synergy for your leader. So then, yeah, we have also the Red Cross and United Nations and Empire State. The H2 Wonders are not so great. Eiffel Tower, Louvre, Statue, not the best. But in 3 players, this is more pickable. I actually picked Eiffel Tower a decent amount in a 3-player. And yeah, Railroad is of course strong, and then Suez depends, but you can have James Cook with it. You can have Isabel, maybe Barbarossa for some synergy, maybe Sun Tzu. See some stuff. What else is there? Newton is a great leader to keep around for a long time. Nobel for early science. And Napoleon as well. Then in H1, I see that there's really great wonders now. There's the two happy face wonders, Universitas, Great Wall, and Machu Picchu with the Michelangelo. So Michelangelo has some Hanging Gardens, Michelangelo, St. Peter's stuff, or just a lot of H1 wonders. But if you can't get a lot of H1 wonders, then the H2 is not the best, but still definitely can get some work in, like something like an Eiffel Towers. Again, not or a statue is really not so bad in 3-player. So definitely still some potential there. And then there's a lot of strength leaders, a lot of leaders that you can transition into, like Saladin, Nostradamus, Jan Ziskap, Barbarossa. So something like Hippo, Alexander gets a bit better, then you just transition quickly. There's not really much late transitioning, only really maybe Barbarossa, but Barbarossa can take pretty much any time in the age. So there's no Columbus, there's no Isabel or the one that gives you back like 2 CA. And there's also Genghis Khan. So yeah, a lot of strength stuff. It's interesting. And yeah, so HA, I think Ashoka, for example, has like no real payout with all these quick transition leaders. And some pretty good wonders that are not in a row yet. so it might be worth to wait for it. Yeah. Okay, let's look. Miloslav first gets the EG and pick maybe Hippo, but it's not that amazing. There's also other leaders, but of course, if you take EG, then you still need a lot of stuff to get in the second turn. But even maybe waiting for a wonder for an H1 wonder is also not so bad. So yeah, EG is always kind of fine. Then I take Hippo here, and I think if the H1 leaders would be different, then I would take Ashoka. But like I said, there's a lot of leaders you can transition into quickly, and no payoffs like yeah that are transitional at the end of H1. So Ashoka gets a lot worse. So I just go for Hippo. I also like Hippo a little bit more in 3-player than 4-player because you have a little bit more like population that you want to get into some stuff like dramas and stuff that you don't really necessarily need in 4 players. I just take a frugality. Then Shoka gets taken by the doctor and takes Colosseum. I like hanging gardens with Ashoka, actually. You get a lot of food and then you always have the happy faces. Colosseum also still a happy face. And there are quite a few leaders that are good with that, but no Columbus. But there's at least Barbarossa and Nostradamus. And Genghis Khan can work like Great Wall Genghis Khan, and then have a 3 MA is really strong actually. But yeah, I guess not the worst, not the best. So yeah, it's like okay, okay Colosseum game. I think another one for Colosseum is Robespierre, which is also not in here because Robespierre really wants you to take the Republic. But yeah, in 3 players, there's 2 people that can get the Conmon, and then if you get Republic, you can usually get the strategy because the other people already have the Conmon. So I think I value Colosseum maybe a little bit lower in 3 players. And here, yeah, I see that the pyramids come out, so I was happy to see it. And of course, Stonehenge would be the other option for me. Miloslav gets the Hanging Gardens instead of maybe 2CA pyramids, but then he would really need to take pyramids, Confucius, and if he wants to elect Confucius, then he can't get something going. So it's a bit of a cost, but maybe it's still worth it. And then you have like the EG for the pyramids, and that's kind of cool. But the funny thing is, he actually takes Confucius, and he still doesn't make the mine, which I think is not very efficient because I mean he takes Richland, which is also 1 rock, so you get 1 rock back. Now the only downside is that you can't, or that you can miss out on like a religion or a warrior, but you have the Hanging Gardens, so the religion is really not that important. First of all, you're also player 1, so the only one that can seed is you, and you want to seed, so you will seed, but it's only 1 seed, and then okay, sure, you can miss out on a warrior, but you already get 1 rock in return for that, basically. So, um, you know, and here I take the pyramids, of course, super cool. Then we get the hippo in there, use the frugality, get the mine, super cool. And we already see some leaders, Michelangelo, Saladin. I get the open border and vast territory. So some spicy options there. Ashoka, take a stockpile to keep in hand. Miroslav has the Hanging Gardens. Will you go for Michelangelo? Draw 3 seeds. Michelangelo does get taken. Now, yeah, here's like, okay, at the very least, you get 2 culture from him and some other stuff. And there are a lot of really great H1 wonders, so, um, and he already has the EG, so he can finish this Hanging Gardens relatively quickly without putting too much into it, right? Because Hanging Gardens is not something you necessarily want to finish very quickly, but if you have the EG anyway, then it's not so costly, and then you can go Michelangelo. And yeah, if you get Iron, then you can definitely have a very strong game already. But yeah, at the very least, maybe you get a religion out, and you already have 3 culture per turn. Just passively is already kind of solid. So I'm not really a big fan of the Michelangelo Hanging Garden synergy. But I think in 3-player, actually, I might underestimate it. Just getting some, okay, culture is a lot more valuable than in 4 players. Yeah, here I get the open borders. And I gave it to DrRerNate because he had the Colosseum already. This is the upside from playing Colosseum, by the way. You get the open borders pretty much guaranteed. Like either you draw it yourself or someone else draws it, and then they give it to you because you get the Colosseum. And then if you don't take a scary leader like Barbarossa or something, then or like Hammurabi or something, then yeah, you will just get an extra MA. So it is the hidden value of the Colosseum, which is very real, by the way. Now here's Saladin already, so I get like no downtime on my Hippo, and that is of course very efficient, and that has to be kind of good. Like if Hippo is not good in this position where you have a perfect transition, then he would never be good, right? So the question here is, I do this. Should I transition already? Because okay, I have one token that is by far the most important one. The second token, is it worth a CA in general, or is it worth a CA in this specific situation? And I'm not really sure if it's worth a CA or not. I think using the CA or getting an extra CA now in a generic position is kind of fine. Like you just get your CA, your early CA, which can do a lot. Maybe you get like 2 resources from it, or you can get like 1 yellow token later, which, I mean, generally, because basically like every 4 yellow tokens gives you 1 consumption, right? And then also actually every 4 yellow tokens, like basically whenever you go from this area to this area, you lose a food per turn compared to here because it's 4 instead of 3. But it also costs you, well, let's say look at this, like from 1 to 2 it costs you 1 food per turn, and from 3 to 4, if you make a dude per turn, it also costs a food to make a dude extra. So basically, if you make a food per turn, sorry, if you make a dude per turn, then 4 yellow tokens extra would give you basically the same as having 2 extra food per turn, and of course also gives you some happy face. So that's basically how I think about it. Like I think basically 4 yellow tokens for the most part is 2 food per turn if you get it. So one extra yellow token for me is half a food per turn and also half a happy face because at some point you get to this, and then 2 yellow tokens is like one happy face. So I'm like, okay, they're like half a happy face and maybe half a food per turn all the way in H2. Yeah. And so that is like maybe 4 turns, then I get 2 food. But now I can get 2 rocks from 1 CA this turn, next turn. And that is like a million turns earlier. So it feels like it should be already kind of close. But then there's also the half a happy face on top. And then if you get into this position, then suddenly you go from 5 food to 7 food if you're here. So then it really makes a big difference if you're in this position or this position. So then the yellow tokens are worth even more. But then you can think that I already have 2 territories here. If I win one of them, then I'll probably never get into that space. And so then you could maybe say that you're not worried about that. And then it's just like you get into this, and then it's really just half a food per turn. So you need like 4 turns at the end of the age, kind of. Um, and then of course having the resource at the start of right now is then basically snowballing all the way to the rest of the game, so it should be way more than 2 rocks, getting 2 rocks now. So I don't know, I just thought it was kind of interesting. I was just like, how would you ever think about if this is worth it or not, right? And I like to calculate it out. But yeah, I mean, gut feeling would also be like it's kind of close, and if I try to calculate something, have some kind of grasp, then I also think it's kind of close. But then if you just look at what I wanted to do with my turn, I actually wanted to, well, I will do it also, take the EG here, and then I was looking at this Carolina, because Miloslav doesn't have enough to go for like Hanging Gardens and then Michelangelo and then take the Carolina. I thought. Not 100% sure on that if it comes all the way here actually. But even if that's, yeah. Okay, I'm actually not sure anymore. I thought Miloslav wasn't really gonna take this Carolina, but and if he takes EG and then do 2 steps, that's already 4. So he has like 2-6. Yeah, then he already has to get out of corruption, which is like a problem. He also gets 1 rock from the Michelangelo if he takes the Carolina. So I think he will always have corruption problems, and then he will not be able to take it in a good fashion, even if it comes all the way down. And that is even without development, right? And he will also see the development because he has Confucius. So yeah, I think that's right that he will basically never take this. And then with this extra CA and the EG, I can finish the pyramids and take the Universitas while also getting out of corruption most of the time. So that is my plan. Development of science, that also doesn't give me corruption, so that is also helpful. Yeah. Okay, and of course another seed. And we can look. Crafts, markets, or trade routes. So, I mean, it's if you can have the choice, that trade routes would give you 3 resources, which is slightly better. But of course, depends on what you want to do. And yeah, here, yeah, so there's also the Code of Law, which he wants to take. I guess the lab. So my play is safe. I seed the inhabited territory. I'm not really sure. I mean, that's just I have one card here. I will draw more with this, and then having some resources to finish my pyramids and do other stuff. I yeah, because I might have like one more CA left or no. Let's see. No, this is not my CA now. Yeah, so this is the play. Yeah, I guess I just seeded to seed. I guess yeah, putting knowledge in the deck is always good, right? And then I might be able to prepare myself with the cartography. And I actually thought that this Genghis Khan is like maybe getting the triple cavalry and then doesn't really have a good tactic to win, to send something. But Miroslav does have knights, and my knights can send away some stuff. Like if he has the one warrior, one knight tactic, and I actually realized this later, and I was like, like this tactic, right? I guess I have one of them at least, so that makes it a bit safer because there's only 2 in. But this one is really good for colonizing. I guess I have it, and I could maybe just take this. Oh yeah, maybe I was. Oh man, I already can't remember anymore. But maybe I was thinking actually that I can take the second knights, and then I can also send it away. That would be nice because DrRerNate will never go for the second knight. Yeah, and I also already show it, and I do keep this one just in case I need it. And DrRerNate, get the religion, a lot of stuff, and yeah, the other thing is that now there is already we did already flip the deck, and I am weakest, but I think I thought that it was not very likely that people would seed strength defense because actually the Genghis Khan, I don't know. Yeah, it's a bit dangerous to seed because now I can get hit by Miloslav seeding. So I don't know about this inhabited territory nonsense. Maybe that was just bad. Now let's see if I get punished. Oh, is it the ancient? Very nice. I actually get rewarded for this Universitas pickup. It's the E hanging gardens down. Now I was like, okay, so you're just gonna take the Machu Picchu, then it goes 6+3, right? I mean, he also needs to get stronger, to be fair. So he just goes for a knight. And he actually just takes the irrigation and doesn't bother with Machu Picchu and then hope for an iron. I mean, yeah, I could probably pick up this irrigation also. So I think that's something that I would probably consider. But there's also this thing, and I think I underestimate how strong that thing is in this position. Because I always think I got owned by that in like the first 3 games that I played, and I thought that was like the most OP thing in the world. And then whenever someone tried to do it in 4 players, to be fair, uh, they just get giga owned every time. But I think in 3 players it might be pretty valid, but we will see what happens. So now I actually go for the Legion. I just build some. And I should take the Iron, because I was thinking, yeah, I can either build this very slowly, or I can just try to get some iron with the rich land and then bomb, 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 and then build it, right? That would be kind of nice. And there was not really anything else to take. Like I can take another rich land, but I don't have the iron, and then it gets more awkward. And then also I give Miloslav that iron, pretty sure, or DrNate even, or DrNate even, actually. Yeah, so that iron, I guess either DrNate gets it, and then Miroslav can even take the second one, and I have no iron, and I have like no project. So yeah, now I like this iron I pick up a lot. Genghis Khan, and now I was like, okay, I also have medieval army, and now Miroslav can also copy medieval army, and of course, I also showed medieval army, so they can also just did he copy it, by the way? Oh yeah, he just copies it, yeah. Because I was like, I don't know about all this, like showing that medieval army so prematurely, so that now that he can copy it. But I mean, I thought he would just get in heavy cavalry, to be honest. But I also give it to Miloslav, which apparently, yeah. I mean, if you have the medieval army, it is rather unlikely that they have it, right? So maybe you just shouldn't show it. But usually DrRerNate has something, right? Either the phalanx or the heavy cavalry. Otherwise, you don't do this, right? You would imagine. So, but he doesn't seem to have it, because if he has 3 things, then yeah, unless he already thinks about colonies, which could be valid. Honestly, I think that could be a big brain play. So here goes the second knight. So here that could be a heavy cavalry, but can still just wait for the yeah, the tactic, right? Yeah, let's take some cards. And here I see the cartography coming down the row, and I was like, yeah, okay, I will see the fast territory. Oh, there's the inhabited territory right here in there as well, so I could also maybe try to not seed and then get the cartography first. But at least if I seed on my turn, then I get an advantage on the colony anyway, right? Um, yeah, here I really wanted to get the cartography, I think, down, but it was very awkward because I also really want to get a bit stronger and then just get this iron upgrade. And then I didn't have any more CA left, basically. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I have 6 CA. Some of these runs, I mean, yeah. I mean, this is forced. This 3 CA is forced. Developing the swordsman is kind of forced because also it gives you also extra colonization bonus, right? Because sending away a swordsman is so much better than sending away a warrior. Um, and then getting this iron upgrade is also just a little bit too good with the rich land. And now I'm also strongest, so yeah, it just seems very good. But now the inhabited territory is in here, and I was like realizing that this tactic is a bit annoying. Yeah, that I mean, he can probably get the phalanx next, or sorry, the medieval army as well. And then I was like, ooh, then he can really quite easily outbid me even with the cartography. The cartography is basically the tactic, and so then we're even. And I have one colonization card, which is not bad, but he can definitely also have one or maybe two. And now he's seeded first for the next turn if he seeds. So yeah, I was a little bit unhappy about seeding those territories into this tactic, which was my own fault by showing the tactic. So there was some deeper, maybe, yeah, some finesse that I could have done to make that a bit better. But like the colonies are definitely still not bad. If I can get the cartography out, I can get it definitely in time for the fast territory. And now that Miloslav is at least the weakest, so maybe Doctor will see it and Miloslav won't see it, and there's only 1 in 3 that the inhabited comes out, so then I can still have time. But then I can't see it on my turn, which is a bit annoying. So, but yeah, so there's definitely still a good chance the inhabited doesn't come out, that I can still get the cartography down, and then it's relatively equal. And even if he wins it, then it does cost him at least two guys, and then I can maybe win the fast territory after. So all in all, it was kind of fine, but I was a bit annoyed by this medieval. But I mean, who expects this, that he copies the medieval, right? But maybe still just don't don't give it to Miroslav is already a reason. But then I would have, well, what did I have in hand? Like the vast territory I kind of wanted to keep in hand, and then this defense card I kind of wanted to keep, and then I would either have to throw away the medieval or this, and then yeah, if the knights are on bottom like they are now, then so it was definitely a bit tricky to keep everything, you know. So yeah, I think how everything played out, that the knights are really on the bottom, and then this also worked out, and it's also good to play around that. So I think it wasn't so bad after all, but just the fact that I didn't really realize this, mm, that this tactic can really colonize so well, that felt a bit bad, right? That I just didn't really think about that. Mm, and this also felt very good because I didn't get punished for being weakest, and then I get strongest, and I get uncertain border. So I mean, yeah, I'm getting very lucky here. Now DrRerNate goes very high, and DrRerNate is very dangerous because DrRerNate, there's two things he does. One thing is he builds a million swordsmen every single game. I think the average of his swordsmen is like 6 per game now. He just only has swordsman, rifleman, everything. It's very funny. So Great Wall is probably like his spirit animal or something, and also Genghis Khan. So this is his perfect game. He must win this, I'm sure. Um, and the second thing is he loves to play aggressions, even if they don't have that high of a chance that they work. So those are two things that we know about DrRerNate, and we have an open border. So I know that if he has an aggression, he will just play it against me. So I have to be careful about that. So even if I get the colony, and I can't really bid that much because otherwise I get owned. And then I also have to play like +2 strength probably. So yeah, he does have the heavy cavalry actually. So the funny thing is, I expected the doctor to get the heavy cavalry and then him copying my medieval, but it ended up being the other way around for some reason. Takes the alchemy, breakthrough, ultra heritage. And still, I mean, he has a plan. There's a Forbidden City here, but he has a plan, and the plan is a lot better than I thought. Yeah, so I don't see it because I want to get the cartography down, and I get a bit stronger to be able to send away the swordsman without being in danger or something. I don't know. I don't know if I'm in danger. Uh, would I be in danger? Probably would be, right? I mean, if I now send away this, then yeah, of course, yeah. Yeah, of course. Then it would be like -4, minus the tactic -6 go to 5, and then 11 to 5 is like not even close. So yeah, this swordsman is important. Now I didn't get extra strength because again I thought no more strength events probably, or not. Yeah, maybe one at most, but probably not. And there's a Reign of Terror immediately. So it was a bit annoying, but yeah, I mean you can't really skip out on the CA here. I think the CA is a little bit too good. So, but yeah, and here with the Reign of Terror, I know that the last card is Inhibited Territory, and the nice thing is because this is a digital, this Reign of Terror doesn't get resolved until my turn. If the Inhabited Territory gets resolved, or I win the Inhabited, then I can first already get the population out when I colonize it, and then on my turn, I lose the population, and then I don't have to disband something, which is, of course, much better if that happens. So I was really hoping that I could win it. DrRerNate takes the call for 3. He can go into it next turn. And now does Miloslav seed? Doesn't seed. So that means that, yeah, I have the best position for the inhabited territory. And yeah, here he goes to his plan. There's a St. Peter very late in H1. Well, I see the good harvest, inhabited territory. And I was very happy because I did win it. Now, yeah, just one warrior or one swordsman, one card. And yeah, I really couldn't bid 2. Now, spoiler alert, or I mean, spoiler alert, if I want to be completely honest, I actually did bid 2. Because I was like, ah, man, I mean, I really need to win this. I just bid 2. And then, like, I don't lose my guy. And that is, like, super worth it, right? But then I realized that if I do that, even if I get, like, +2 strength, I actually don't have any open population. And so I cannot make a new swordsman or anything. And then I would basically just be on too low strength. And then I would actually have to disband something anyway to make a new swordsman. So that was a very bad bid. But the nice thing of that bad bid was basically if DrRerNate doesn't put in 2, then I will always win it for 1. And if he does put in 2, then he already goes to 6. 2, 4, 6. And I bid 7. So if he has 2 colonization cards, he can even overbid me. And this was not that unlikely. So if he wants to bid, and yeah, basically now he bid 5, right? So he actually has a 2 plus 3 colonization cards. So yeah, so it wasn't actually that likely that it would go wrong, but of course it was like horrible because I didn't want to win it for that much. But at least he would have to pay more by me bidding 7 if he would have had bid like 2 for 6, 9. So he would have gotten it for 8, and then at least he would have had to pay more because of what I did. But yeah, no, that was very stupid. And I was like, oh my god, what did I just do? I already threw the game on. But then I was very happy because I didn't throw the game because I didn't get punished. Never punished. Wave of nationalism and the EG because I really want to finish this Carolina, and it's kind of difficult. I have the masonry as well, so I can do 1 EG then masonry into this Buam. Yeah, this is something I've actually learned from Lemming's player, which is I yeah he's yeah good player, And I feel like I noticed him taking a lot of things in the 3 CA spot when there's like some decent stuff maybe. I mean, I don't know what would be here, maybe organized religion, no, not use the bread or something, I'm not really sure, but I see him take something that he just very much needs on the 3 CA spot, like a revolutionary idea, H2 or something, and then he just like just because he has that, then suddenly he can actually go into a government. And then because he can go into a government a turn earlier, then he already gets that 3 CA back, and then he just has the extra science, right? So it's just, yeah, taking something that is just very useful, even though this only 3 rocks for, because yeah, it cannot be 4 in this. It's only 3 rocks for 3 CA is very bad deal, kind of. I mean, it's okay. It's not the worst ever, but yeah, it's not the best. But just getting the stuff that you need, and then make it, even if it's a bit overpriced, it's actually super important. I've been using that a lot more, and I've been really enjoying that. Those are actually like some really strong moves very often. So, but I do have to take the 2 strength because I know that Doctor will always aggress me. Especially once I also threw away my defense card, right? I did draw another defense card, so that's nice. Also for the vast territory, right? So he goes for the Great Wall still and the coal. Um, there's also a railroad here. I just realized. I didn't actually realize this during the game. But there is a railroad here. And this gives 5 strength. And then this thing gives you also 5 strength. I mean, maybe some more at the end. Now it gives 4 strength, of course. But this also gives you, with the coal, 3 rocks per turn. Now, okay, this gives you also something. But 3 rocks per turn is really cool. And of course, this is also 4 stage. 4 stages cost 12, it costs 9. So it's 1 time the coal production extra, like the 3 rocks per turn extra. And then you just get 3 rocks per turn extra per turn. So I think this railroad is a little bit too cool. That I think he should have taken that instead of the Great Wall. But as we know, the Doctor is a great swordsman spammer. So maybe this will just be like 8 strength at the end of the game. He took Conmon, which yeah, there's like no Robespierre or anything. It's very hard for him to get into it. Maybe he didn't really have anything else to do. Maybe he should just take the organized religion. But yeah, this is difficult. Like he kind of just needs Republic, and then he needs to get a thingy revolution. Now Miroslav would probably then just take the Conmon here, and I would probably take the Conmon as well, right? I don't think I need the Republic Revolution with the Universitas that will go up now. So then I would also take the Common. Then he can take the Republic, and then he can just go for that and go for a Revolution the turn after, I think. I think I would have liked that for him. And he does have the open borders, and he does have the Colosseum, right? So it's very cool Republic position for him. So I think actually giving away the common for once, which is normally something you don't want to do, is actually very beneficial for him, because now what happens is probably that Miroslav takes the common, and then I definitely will take the Republic, and then he doesn't have this option anymore. So let's see what happens there. Actually, Miroslav also needs the Republic, and there's now 2 Republics in a row. But he also takes the common. So I think, I mean, he has only 2 CA, which is of course a big problem. But I think, I mean, he has cultural heritage. So yeah, actually, would be nice for him if he could. What did he do? Alchemy, increase population. Did he need that? Probably did. Yeah, it would be nice to get like cultural heritage and then like common next turn already. That would be like super sick, of course. But he does have stuff to do while he can wait for this. Like the St. Peter, upgrade here, upgrade here, upgrade here, upgrade everything. Yeah. But yeah, I think he just wants to finish this St. Peter next turn if it's possible, and then he gets a lot of culture, and then maybe the turn after he can get this, or maybe then at this point he can just get enough alchemies up, and because he has like an H1 civilization, he doesn't really need much more science than that. So it's not like he still needs like 7 science for a call or something. So he can just wait for this and then just go into it, and then it's just kind of okay, I guess. I mean, at some point you probably need something for this, but first we need food, and then we need the technology. So it's a bit away until he's in danger for that. Yeah. But yeah, maybe he can still, yeah, so he could probably wait for this. Doing this next turn with the Republic, yeah, having 2 CA is a bit annoying. So this is probably okay. And then I get the Republic. Well, I mean, I'm forced into the Republic. I finished my Universitas. I don't really have a great tactic. I only have this. And would have really liked to take this cannon, actually. But I really needed to finish this Universitas. If I do the Masonry or not, it doesn't matter for the CA. And then, yeah, I just take the Republic, and my turn is already over, I guess. Unless I could have let it drop down, take the cannon, take like something. But I would be afraid that, I mean, a doctor would take the one Republic. I would think it would be a good move. Then Miloslav could even take this Republic away as a how do you say it? A hate draft, and maybe for him to do a revolution into maybe, but yeah, also as a hate draft, that could actually be something. Would be kind of funny. Yeah, like having having like all 4 governments out because of, I mean, this was not really a hate drop, but kind of was. I don't know, but I don't think that ever happens. That all the like that 2 people have 4 of the governments of the H2. That is like extremely rare. But I think this could be a case where that would actually be a pretty good move. That's pretty funny. So yeah, yeah. But I do miss out on the cannons now, which is definitely not so great. Oh, actually, the other thing is, of course, if I have the Republic now instead of next turn, I can already go into the Republic Revolution if I want to do that. Now you might say, okay, now I have four science, so you can just wait 1 turn and then go in Republic, but we'll see at next turn if that's true or not. Crusades, lose a bit more. And he does do this. Irrigation, of course, then he can still do the Republic next turn. But I thought if he does the Republic next turn, I guess he is out of hand size, but maybe he can do a reserve. Yeah, he could probably just do a reserve. Because I was thinking if he does the Republic next turn, there's 2 selective breeding here, there's irrigation here. So if he does Republic next turn, then that's already basically this turn and next turn gone. So that's already in 3 turns, or like in 2 turns from now, 3 turns including this turn. There's already pretty likely a selective breeding at that point. So I think you could wait for that actually in the spot and maybe just play the reserves. Although, let's see. Yeah, if he goes for the Republic next, he always gets corruption either way. Like if he plays reserves now or not next turn, he always gets corruption. Right? Or unless he has... Wait. Wait, am I stupid? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 5 is... Oh, it's 6. Okay, so yeah, if he does it like this, actually, yeah, then he can do the... Okay, yeah, so then this is just... Well, it still costs the 3 science, which could be annoying. But yeah, if you really have to play the reserves and basically get nothing out of it because you lose to corruption, then of course it wouldn't be so great. And then this makes at least a bit more sense. But maybe I still don't like it. I don't know. Now we get good harvest. I don't know if he had knowledge about that. No, I put that in. I put that in. So yeah, now he gets corruption anyway, so that's kind of funny. So now there's the St. Peter, and it's like halfway H2, and like there's no way that that can be good, right? That you have like the Michelangelo and then halfway H2, and but somehow like this Michelangelo, of course, already was 3 culture per turn. So that's basically the same as like something like a Nostradamus or something if you see it every turn. But you don't get the extra benefits, but it's like not the worst thing, 3 culture per turn. And now he really gets 6 culture per turn. And he gets 10 culture in total. And I was looking at this and I was like, that's actually kind of scary. I don't know. Then he's like this H1 civilization. And I think this works a lot better in 3 players for some reason because I don't know, you just get less punished in H3 by strength pushes. And then yeah, like people can go for block and stuff and then they don't really want to attack you. Yeah, I don't know. I was like, okay, there's gonna be a really big difference in culture. I don't mind a bit of a difference, but if it's like this much, then even I get a bit spooked. So I was a bit confused how this was like working or something, but this is like the thing in 3 player. Like I feel like I definitely don't have a full grasp on 3 player because people just make some culture and then they like win the game. And I'm like, are they allowed to do that? Like they're not doing anything. They're just making culture. Like don't they get punished for that somehow? And in 4 players, yes, because there's so many impacts at the end, and then usually if you go for culture, you don't have a big economy, you don't have a lot of stuff in your civilization, and you lose a lot of impacts. But with 3 players, you get way less impacts. Yeah, and just less people that can attack you, right? So yeah, of course you get punished way less, but yeah, sometimes I'm like, wait, how does this? Why am I losing to this nonsense? Like I feel like he's not doing anything, but he just makes some culture, and I can't punish him quick enough. So we'll see how this works. But here's the vast territory, and I knew that he has like 3 colonization cards because he showed that he had them last time. So if he just gives an army, then this is 9. Yeah, at least you can also get even more colonization cards in the meantime. But yeah, I mean I couldn't really do more than this, which is like 2, I think. So he gets it. And yeah, here I do go for a revolution, which is maybe interesting. Because at first I did not look at it because I was like, okay, I just go scientific method. I just upgrade scientific method twice, and I go like +8 science per turn, and then like actually have like if I go +8, I was started at 9, so I go to 17, and then this is 6 and 11, so I actually have scientific method double upgrade, and then I can go into Republic normal next turn. So yeah, why not just wait for that? But then I thought, first of all, this scientific method is 3 cost. So will they take it away? And I thought if I do the revolution, this will stay at 3 cost. And also I think he should do the Republic revolution here. But if he wants to take the scientific method, he first needs to clean out space. Then so basically like some frugality or something. Then take scientific method. Then he only has 1 CA. So he's just not gonna do that ever. Miloslav already has alchemy. So I actually by not taking the scientific method, it probably already saves me 2 CA. And then it saves me like 9 science by doing this. Okay, the scientific method could give me 4 science back, but it's still a difference of 5 science. And I thought that 5 science could actually be pretty relevant because I still wanted like selective reading, still wanted um, the thing, Jesus, uh, strategy. And I also thought that, what did I think? What did I think? Not actually sure. I thought I needed that. Yeah, I thought I needed basically the knights for the cannons, maybe sooner than later. with my next population. I basically wanted to make either knight or cannon instead of keep spamming this swordsman. So I mean, so what happens? Basically, I had how much? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Now, if you go into it normally, you spend one civil action. So now I don't, because yeah. And then it cost me 3 instead of 1 civil action to get the scientific method. So now I already saved 3 civil actions. So basically, this revolution is worth like 3 civil actions, maybe. And then 3 civil actions is worth basically if you. I'm very confused, by the way, but 3 civil actions is worth like. The 9 science, but the 9 science is like 5 science. I mean, 3 civil actions for 5 science is a pretty good deal, but I also get another 2 rocks. So that's basically 7 or what? Sorry. 3 civil actions for 5 science, but 5 science is 2 rocks. So maybe like 3 resources for 3. Yeah. But of course, it's more about if I actually really need that extra like 5 science or something. And I thought it was actually quite useful because I thought I definitely wanted to get into scientific method and then also selective breeding when it comes, and then also this. And then we're already in H3, and then I want air forces and I want strategy. So I thought the science was worth it, but yo, could I get double upgrade? 7, 3, 4. Yeah, right. Exact. Yeah. I don't know. I thought I did it, and then I was like, I didn't want. I wasn't gonna do it, or I didn't even see it, and then I saw it. And I was like, oh, that's actually like super cool. And now I look at it again. I'm like, it's. I think it's good. I think it's good, but it's not so clear anymore. Or what is it? How many do I say do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 1, 1. That's it. Then do I have corruption? No, right? I have exactly 5. I don't have fast territory. So I think I don't have corruption. It was like 2 and this cost 4, 8, yeah. So that would have been also okay, I guess. No. But I think this is correct. Good little historic territory, just take it for 1. Like, can't be too bad. Yeah, Doctor is a bit stronger, but he doesn't do the Republic. I really thought he should do the Republic. Because it's never gonna happen if he doesn't do it with a revolution. Okay, Miloslav kind of finishes up his thing. Right, gets discarded, actually. It's interesting. So definitely no like classic army or conquistadors, but I think you should take that. Rifleman. I'm a big military tech guy. This is super sick, Isaac Newton. And I mean, the beautiful thing is now I can actually. No, I guess it's the same, right? Otherwise, I would have gone in scientific method, and then I would have a free republic from the Newton. But yeah, basically now I actually can do this. Right. And I would have enough science for the selective breeding, but I don't really have enough CA to improve it. And this was a pretty difficult turn, I remember, for sure. Again, the normal turn would be just maybe take selective breeding. And then skip out on this. But I actually thought, okay, I still want to upgrade this. I want the selective breeding, upgrade those. I want some knights, cannons, and upgrade or make those. I do have a wave, but that's a lot of rocks. I guess a lot of rocks. And there's also one cannon and one cavalryman here, which, they can just be taken away. Like, Doctor really wants the cannons, maybe. Well, he still needs to do the stupid Republic, but yeah, I mean, I don't know, like the cannons. He also doesn't have cannons. So one cannon already fell off, one rifleman already fell off, so there's really not that many things that are in the game. I don't have a tactic, so I was like, if I don't take this rifleman, it's very difficult for me to get a tactic. In H2 anyway, like, how do I get it? Like, I would need both of these, which seems very hard. And then if I'm in H3 and I get some rifleman plus cannon tactic, then I don't even have a rifleman, and there and Miloslav didn't take the rifleman, which, I mean, maybe means that he will never want it, but yeah, maybe he will take them all. Yeah, so basically, without this rifleman, I would have basically nothing into the H3 potentially, or I have rifleman plus maybe now cavalry or cannon, then I'm a lot more flexible into H3 for the tactic. So I actually thought this rifleman, even though I have the swordsman already, I think this rifleman was actually very important. So that was already one reason that I didn't go that I felt like I maybe not have the time for the selective reading, and then the other was that I actually felt like I needed a lot of rocks. Now again, this wave can help a lot, but I felt like I need a lot of rocks. And then I was like, oh, you know what? This selective reading, there's another one in there. If DrRerNate really wants selective reading, you can just take this one. And then the next selective reading is coming here in no time. Maybe it falls down to 1 CA for me. And even if it gets hate drafted for some reason, then we're also going to be in H3 very quickly and then get some mechanized agriculture. And I already have 2 population here, and I can get a third one as well. So it's not like I really desperately need the population as ASAP. So I really like this move as well. I really like the Republic move as well, but yeah. Yeah, I think I mean, I think when I thought about the Republic, right? I mean, okay, now I have +8, which is cool, but otherwise I would get like also +8 was the idea, right? So I get 8, 8. Depends if you really care about the strategy that much. Um, yeah, if you really care about the strategy, then you don't have enough science if you do the other line, seems like, but I don't know. Now, as everybody knows, I am now not automatic defended, so that means that I get aggressed by DrRerNate as expected, but that did not happen, or I could defend. He plays the bread and circuses, he gets the Nobel. Now, of course, this Republic could have been played like 5 turns ago, not really, but like two turns ago, and it's still not out. And now he takes the Nobel and a breakthrough, which will give him a lot of science. But do you know what else gives you a lot of science? Yeah, this Republic Revolution. So yeah, that's 9 science, and then you have the Republic next turn. Now you have Nobel and some breakthrough, which then gives you 9 science, maybe at some point. Also costs you 3 CA, and then also when you replace it, another CA. So yeah, I thought there was already like 2 turns ago that he should go into Republic, but this turn was the most. I mean, yeah, should go into this turn. I mean, maybe you could say one more turn. Next turn, he goes into the Republic because at least now he has Nobel, and otherwise he needs to take like Shakespeare because there's like nothing else, right? Or like the Shakespeare probably even falls off or something. Then he has basically no leader, so it can be defended that you take the Nobel here. But surely then next turn, right? Next turn, revolution. And yeah, 5 dudes. And the other thing is, he doesn't equip the Nobel now. And I think he might have overlooked that there's only 10 cards left. And yeah, economic progress. Common. And he actually just goes for Louvre. And I was like, this is illegal, right? He has like, okay, now 10 culture, you will lose like 6 of it. And then he will regain 5, goes back to 9 if he finishes this. But I was like, these are like sort of the most, like, his leader only got culture, then he only builds culture buildings. I was like, this surely that's illegal, right? But then I look at the score and I'm like, he has the common, he actually has the color law, he has, I mean, full H1 buildings. For some reason, like, my strength is like 0 for some reason. So this 11 strength is just enough. And yeah. He upgrades the alchemy. Yeah, sure, my, like, I have a lot better science. But I felt like he's not really that much behind on this uh, civilization, and then he can maybe get a, well, I guess he has like no science for something like computers or oil for now. But I don't know. I really was like, okay, wait, why is this like kind of working? Like I'm already like 50 behind, and he's gonna finish this pretty quickly, and he doesn't even have any like extra blue tokens as well. So I was like, this is like highly illegal, surely. But yeah, I don't know. I was like kind of scared, or very scared even. So he just starts building it. And now he shows the Hussars, and he has the cavalrymen, so he has some amount of defense. I guess that's why he didn't take the riflemen, but I think you still should take the riflemen. Hussars, maybe it's just not enough. And what did I seed? I think it was like the Ravage of Time or something, or was it? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Ravage of Time, of course, pretty nice, because, okay, sure, I lose something here, but Colosseum, if he has a Republic, and he also loses now the open borders, he can go down to 2, which is, of course, very annoying. And then Miloslav losing the Hanging Gardens with the St. Peter, suddenly -3. Of course, you can build a religion, get back like 2 happy faces, but also depends on the position, if he has that population. And yeah, you never really got, like, the Hanging Gardens. If it gets killed, then you already have like a pro sport, or you have 4 happy faces, and then you just make 1 more pro sport because you kind of need extra 2 happy faces in the end anyway, and it's like kind of free. But since you have this St. Peter, then okay, unless you have just a lot of operas or something, getting, yeah, unless you have to like make an extra religion, it is annoying, right? Like it's not something you want to do. And even if you make 1 religion, you still need another happy face potentially. So if you really have to make 2 religions, that is extremely annoying. So yeah, if I then get making a war against him at the right time or something, that could really mess him up if that comes out. Basically make a hybrid war at home, but it's actually way stronger than a hybrid war. So it's not even, it's just like hybrid war 2.0 or something. I was happy to take this cavalryman and actually draw this classic army. So I was like, ah, okay, because I was very scared that I actually would have like nothing for my strength. But yeah, I can take all this, and I can even take the cannon. And I guess I played the bread and circuses obviously because I said I don't, there's like not a lot of leaders that you can prepare for in this spot. I'm not really prepared for much at all, or if anything. So now I'm at least prepared for Pierre a bit. And I do have a lot of population, so I can just make some bread and circus for some culture, perhaps. Uh, yeah, could be something. Um, it's also free to play with Isaac Newton, and I have like a lot enough science, so it's probably just fine. Even if the masonry just spam them out, so yeah, it's probably just fine. I do have enough to go for 14 with the strategy cannon if I want to. I mean, I don't really need these at the moment. But yeah, the funny thing about the rifleman, right? I mean, I do want to point this out for just a little bit more because I feel like a lot of people don't want to take like, okay, they know that, oh, if you have an H1 tech, you don't want to take the H2 tech. But I think mm, with the military tech setting, that's just not true because if you have the H1 tech, that means that you have a lot of swordsmen, right? And then if you draw an H3 tech with uh what are they called, like infantry, well, don't you then really love to have like a rifleman because you already have like four swordsmen, so you just then you really want to just go into that modern army because you already have the swordsman, right? I mean, doesn't make any sense to me that you actually want like cavalrymen plus cannons or something because you really don't want like to transition out of your swordsman into like some cavalryman plus cannon tactic, right? You just want to go into like a swordsman cavalryman tactic or rather a swordsman, well, like a modern army or something where you just make use of your swordsman that you already made. So to me, it doesn't make any sense that you don't want the H2 tactic, H2 technology from the uh, well, the military tax. I think you definitely very much want it. I mean, of course, it depends a bit, but especially the riflemen, like the knights are, yeah, no, I think everything is still very, very good. And then you also take it away from your opponents. If you have like all three of them, like I have, and there's only six in the game anyway, then one of them only has one available. At this point, DrRerNate has zero, and Miloslav has one. So that is, oh yeah, that is if nothing would fall off, then someone would have one. So yeah, you take it for yourself, but you also take it away from someone else, and it is pretty real. Of course, in H3 at some point they will come, but if they're a bit late, or and then they're also pretty expensive, so it can be hard to make a lot of them to fulfill tactics, or you can just get stuck with like, yeah, like here if you just make a lot of knights and suddenly, oh, I can get a rifleman or a H3 infantry, but I already made six knights, so there's really only one tactic that works with that. So yeah, I think it's very undervalued to take this H2 variant of something that you already have. I think it's extremely useful. Now you could say that this classic arming will keep me around, and it's like usually it's a little bit low strength, but you can maybe upgrade to the H3 to get a bit more strength. But no, this is just nice because also just even if you'd never play it, the enemy sees it. It's like, oh, you have cannons, riflemen, and now it just cost me like 20 rocks to just make one army. Now if I just, yeah, so I can like threaten that pretty quickly, or at least what am I saying? 20 rocks for what? For basically like 21 rocks for two modern armies, yeah. But like one modern army plus an air force or something, like you can just threaten that because you have the technologies and stuff. So, and I do have the science in this game probably. And then if you draw the modern army, yeah, then suddenly you have, instead of this nonsense 8, you have something that does 13, and then 13 plus 13 with two air forces is plus 20. So suddenly instead of having not that much, double air forces with classic army is not super threatening. It's like fine on the right timing, but not super threatening. But if you have doubled more an army with double air force, suddenly no one can defend against that almost. So yeah, little rant there, but I think it's important. And the nice thing is, when you look back 6 months ago, one of my, or maybe my first video, I don't even know. No, it was not my first, but one of my first. I have this video about how to play 4 players. Okay, this is 3 players, but I was really focused on this thing with the tactics and the technologies, and I'm very happy that I still believe that this is still very much important. because of course back then I was way worse, but I still had some nice ideas that are still true, which are still not that mainstream on like maybe among the highest level, but the people that I play against, which are a lot of not the highest level, they don't do it. So basically, it's not obvious to everyone, as you can also see in all of these games. Now, I will say one last thing is that if you have Republic, this does make it a lot harder. I think if you have Common, this is a lot more important. But yeah, it's still good. But if you have Common, then it's much easier to actually get the war down. Plus, making some air forces, getting your tactic and stuff. Now it's just hard. Like you don't draw the wars, you don't have enough MA to actually make them work. So, but at the same time, if you then don't have the technologies, then it's also hard to defend, and then it's easier for them to attack. So even if you're a republic, maybe it's also very important that you have these technologies so that you don't are an easy target. So yeah, but I think it's still better with common. So now yeah, okay, here we are, Louvre, and now it's 64 plus 9. And he didn't have any H2 leader, so okay, maybe then he gets punished by that. But no, there's a frequently Bill Gates here. And now with this Bill Gates, patriotism. And yeah, if you then look at a little bit the situation, let's get rid of this little box. Yeah, he has 64 plus 9. I have 21 plus 2, so I'm like 40 like 40 behind. And somehow he has more rocks per turn than me. I have a billion more science. Now it would be nice actually if he also makes a lot of science, because then we can put in a lot of impacts that we both like with the science. But of course, if Bill Gates get the computers, then he also can get science stuff going. So yeah, I mean, right, but now already like he has the things. He has tree population here. Like sure, he doesn't make any food anymore, but he has another tree population here, which is just a lot. He also hides 6 rocks. He has a patriotism. Like sure, he doesn't really have the tax, but I mean, I only make 6 rocks. I don't have food yet, so I'm like a few turns out of actually making something work. And then I'm also on Republic. So I mean, the main thing that I usually think about if I'm uh, if I need to catch up a lot of culture is just to do a big war, right? And very often it's also the case, just like this, where he doesn't have that much defense potential until he gets maybe something going with some things out on the row. But here, I don't have any potential in a lot of ways. I mean, I have the tax and I have a strategy, so I have some MA, but I just don't have the population. I don't have the rocks, and there's also just like this extra plus 6 rocks. You have many. I mean, I already mentioned this. And then if he gets computers, then he has even a million more rocks, and he can use this 6 rocks, and he has a patriotism. He has the conmon. I mean, I was like, I guess we're just playing for second here, which I didn't like. I was like, how did this happen? I was very confused in this game because I was like, this is only greed, 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 and I didn't get to punish him. So this definitely made me just think a lot about 3-player gameplay, and that there's definitely this whole area with just going for culture that I still need to understand. Um, yeah. So I mean, yeah. I was like, okay, even if I try to go for some culture, because I can't really fight him on the strength, and it's gonna take like 4 turns before I can even catch up if he doesn't get computers, and then I'm still 50 behind. It's like then the game's already over. So I honestly I didn't really see a way to even get back. So I'm mostly focused on getting second here. Yeah. And there is a Pierre here. I couldn't do the bread and circuses and start doing that a bit, but I was just a bit skeptical about it. It costs 3 CA right now, and I still need to do some stuff before I really can spam this. And there's like a multimedia here. And I was like, yeah, if I really make all these breads, I need a lot of population. It does take a while, and I probably need also some population at some point for my military again, like double air forces, double tactic or something that would make another like a lot of population, like 5 population, if that's what I want to do. So I just didn't really see it, and then I only get two culture per turn, and I have a Newton that is actually working for me very well, and then especially if I have the multimedia, that is working even better. So then I thought, I think I want to wait, and then I might go for Sid Meier, or I might go for Flaming. Yeah, yeah, basically this. And I think that was correct. And then of course I would look at DrRerNate, and I did draw a war there, by the way. I look at DrRerNate, and I see that he does have the bread, so he can take the Pierre. He will probably take the Pierre, but I wasn't really scared about that too much. I was like, okay, if he takes the Pierre, the Nobel goes out, and then I can get some Nobel Prize with my lot of science. That's good for me, so that's already nice. And then I saw that he doesn't have a lot of population either, and he has irrigation stuck on irrigation kind of, because he also, yeah, like even if H3 comes out, then he doesn't have the science for that. So I was like, okay, he doesn't really have that much potential to just go like triple bread and circus, isn't that this good or something? So yeah, I was actually happy to give it, yeah, to also get the Nobel Prize. But he still doesn't go for the Republic. He is scared of something, and he does the special rifleman, or not my rifleman, modern infantry, right? So that was pretty funny. The infantry versus the cavalry, who's winning? Now let's go for this, of course. Um, it would be nice to just upgrade to the tanks, because these are not very efficient compared to tanks. Tanks are way more efficient, but he does go for it. And the sad thing is, here I was really like, okay, now there's patriotism and military buildup. That is a million rocks. This is 10 rocks. This is 4 rocks, 14 rocks. He already has this. He has 6 rocks here, so he's 20 passive rocks out of nowhere if he wants to put it in. Still has population. And I was like, okay, I have a war. And this was actually, wait, what? Which one was this? I would, with a little robot there. Can we see? Ah, it's this one. Oh yeah, it was like the good tactic for me. But I was also like, if I show this tactic on the wrong time, he just takes modern infantry, and then he can actually just go into it, because it's like the best one for this hussars. So, but yeah, he also just has like 20 rocks, so it's, and then a million MA. So like, how am I ever gonna attack him, right? So yeah, I mean, I was like, okay, I don't really know what I want to do. Maybe attack Doctor, because he also doesn't really have much potential. He might go for tanks, and then make some tanks to go actually into classic army. That's kind of what I was expecting. The tanks are also cheap with the Colosseum. But yeah, I was just like, okay, I'll just do some stuff and get second. Hopefully, I should be getting second. I thought that it wouldn't be so difficult. Get one multimedia down. Get the democracy. Pretty nice. Maybe Manhattan Project would be something. Already a lot of culture there. I use this. Did I put in already or not? Did I put in the impact? Oh yeah, yeah. Impact of science. I put in. Yeah, a lot of science. Of course, he could get some triple computers at some point, but um, yeah, maybe it's already gone. But also, I could actually overtake 15 science per turn. And maybe the computers are just not there ever. I was also thinking that I would actually deny the computers, maybe. I do have a lot of CA, especially with Newton. But he does take the tanks. Cannot go into it next turn, though. And he finally has the common. The Air Force were there, but he skipped them. The second Air Force are also there. He actually gets 5 draws. but at least Miloslav doesn't. Well, I mean, yeah, actually no, and I don't draw anything, but I did draw three very good impacts. Impact of Harmony not super, but Impact of Variety is actually very cool for me, and Impact of Progress is also very cool for me with my science income. But Miloslav goes for the Manhattan, makes some sense. Can boost his pretty sad knight thing, and then yeah, it just gets like military theory, and then Manhattan. I mean, if it wasn't obvious, now it is really obvious, and I think it's also good for him. I mean, he doesn't take the Air Force, but yeah, military theory, fundamentalism, military buildup, patriotism, +6 rocks, and the Manhattan Project. I mean, this guy cannot be attacked. So now I see Fleming in there. I see the impact of progress right now, which might be a bit early. I mean, maybe I could also do like maybe variety or something, or but I mean, I also want to improve variety. I mean, I could maybe do harmony, but maybe then I don't have enough time to do everything because maybe I want a war and then see the other two. So I mean, it's probably fine, but I really want the civil service basically. And that's already a +6, but at least we just turned over, so this will take a while until it comes out. So it's probably fine to be honest. Yeah, it should be fine. Get the little pro sport, use the efficient upgrade for it, and then I was hoping that I can get flaming, maybe movies, and I was also looking. I could probably war DrRerNate, um, but I don't really have the MA at the moment. Now, the thing is, if I showed this tactic right now, I would go -2, and I could get hit by something here, which is of course not great, but it would set me up for enough MA to be able to war. Wait, what? This was with the patriotism, wasn't it? Ah, yeah. Yeah, so basically, actually, what happened was, but I don't know if yeah, I didn't have enough, right? I mean, okay, what I could have done is, I think there was basically some line where I could have set up for a war. If I kept the patriotism in hand and maybe upgraded like some riflemen or something, and then also show the tactic, I would get minus draws, but then I could go some Air Force, and then I could do, yeah, basically one Air Force plus this, and that would be a little bit more, or like +16, but I thought if he actually wants to go for this tanks, keep the reserves, and he could already defend decent with the classic army. But of course, that depends if he actually uses some of this or not. But yeah, you can also take more reserves, right? But what I could have done is yeah, show the thing here, and then this military theory is not gonna get taken most likely by Doctor because he just doesn't have the science for it, and he also doesn't have infinite civil actions, especially because he wants the infinite Red Cross, and he doesn't have architecture or anything. So he probably would leave the military theory. Then he already has military theory in hand, and so then I actually could take the military theory. It's 11. I can go Air Force is 23 plus Rifleman 29, and I have 23 and a revolutionary idea. So I would actually have 29, and then with the extra and 1 MA from the military theory, I would have 5 MA. So if I would have shown the tactic last turn, I could do 1 rifleman, upgrade a rifleman, Air Force, and then do a war with 5 MA is basically yeah 1 and 2 and then 5. And I think that could have been something, you know. And honestly, I was just kind of a bit lazy and I didn't really. I was like, oh, we're already so close, and then he has some options, but maybe I should have opened that option. It's really not that costly to just show it. It was like -1 draw, and I also show maybe my intention, then he will defend it better or something. But I'm not even sure because he's just making. Well, you can do like 6 + 6 is 12, and then make it double tank, which is basically +10, and then the classic army instead of this, which is basically 4, and the classic army is 8, so +4, so +14 is what he could do. He could also deny the military theory if he was really scared. But plus 14, and I would get basically this 8 go plus 3, and then plus 11 is plus 14, plus 19, and plus 20 from the upgrade here. Wait, what is it? 11 plus the Air Force is 5 is 16, and then from 8 to 11 is 3, so that's 19, so that's 20 or what? 20 sounds about right. Yeah. Oh, and then the military theory, so that's plus another 2. So plus 22, I go to like 55, and he can go. Yeah, I would win it by a little bit, right? And if I really care about killing DrRerNate, then that would be honestly a pretty good option. Um, I don't know. I think I was a bit lazy. I think I was just like, okay, I can. Maybe there was something there, but I was like, I think I just never lose against DrRerNate. I don't know why I was so cocky. It's just definitely not true. I was very cocky and I was just lazy. Okay, very good. Immigration. Okay, well, yeah, so no war was really able. Now Ravage of Time. And so here, I mean, I could actually, like, Miloslav is actually also someone that can make a lot of strength now with the Manhattan Project, Air Forces, military buildup, and just make some stuff. And then he can actually war me, right? Now, with my tactic and Air Forces, and then I also have like urban growths for some pro sport. I think I also have like maybe satellites, I don't know, but I think I didn't even calculate everything, but it kind of felt like I would lose it by a little bit, maybe like 5 or something. That was kind of my feeling. And I thought with that, I would still be okay because my impacts are really, really, really strong right now. Um, Now, of course, it's also very likely that the Doctor would end the age, and then he cannot war me. So it was basically if he doesn't end the age, then I can still get like in the United Nations. I can get a lot of points from the flaming. If I make the movies, I just get 7 points times 2. So even if I get warred, but I get like 14 points, and I don't really care too much that Miroslav is getting some points because I think he always wins anyway. Um, yeah. Um, so basically, yeah, I can just go for the culture, and then if he ends the age, that's much better for me that I did that. And because I think if I go for this flaming and I actually try to do some defend and then the age ends, then I actually don't know if I win because then I don't have a wonder, and then I don't have this culture, and then it's actually very close, I think. So I think it's actually kind of mandatory in a way. And if I get ward, it's actually still better to do this. So yeah, and I also get the wonder there. So yeah, now I actually get 17 culture and the Nobel again. So this Nobel is going in also. And here I thought, yeah, if there's another turn after, if he doesn't end the age, then I would like some more draws to draw maybe some more impacts. And I think if I do this, I go to +3, which also still keeps me the weakest, so that doesn't really matter too much. Yeah. And I take the satellites because, yeah, obviously there's like impact of progress, impact of variety, and I wanted to get the civil service. Doctor used the thing, the the games, Olympic Games. Impact of science comes out, and I do win it. And yeah, this was one thing that was pretty cool, of course, that Bill Gates, the computers were at the bottom. So if you look at it, it's actually getting rather close somehow. I was behind like a million, but I actually get a lot of points in the last turns. And yeah, he never got computers. And I drew the nuts with the impacts. Like, kind of everything went perfect. Because like I get the perfect setup for the flaming. I draw the perfect impacts, and he doesn't get computers. And now I was like, wait a second. Wait a second. It's actually getting really close. He takes endowment, and then yeah, gets a +8 here, endowment +6, and that's actually also quite a bit. And his red cross also. So actually, Doctor also makes a lot of culture. So it actually wasn't so obvious that I also just win against him. And but yeah, this I did realize that around this point it's also not so obvious. So yeah, that's like I mentioned that I should make this movie. It's very important. But now it's the last turn, and here something very interesting happens. He Miloslav, of course, his Hanging Gardens gets owned, so he needs to fix that. And he does need to make like double temple here, which is pretty annoying for him. Then he can do the computer. And now this happens where instead of actually finishing the Manhattan, which he could because he has this beautiful Louvre and he has this engineering. So there is like 10 here and there's 5 here, so he needs 5 more, so he just needs 3 more, so he can just take 4 rocks from this. Finish Manhattan, have also the strength lead, which may or may not be important, get maybe Impact of Wonders as well, which maybe that shows that he does well. I think he just I don't know exactly, but um, yeah, big blunder because he could have just finished this instead of taking a random efficient upgrade, and that is 9 points, and then maybe also some impacts. Or he could also yeah get the rocks and then upgrade the computers for some stuff. But basically, he should have used these rocks and then done something. And I mean, he should have just finished the Manhattan project. But even if not, then you shouldn't take the efficient upgrade. You should take the civil servers because obviously this efficient upgrade doesn't do anything anymore because it's the last turn. And I don't have the civil service, and I already have satellites. It's very logical if I have the impact that I see, also impact of progress. And, I mean, yeah, a lot of impacts, right? So I believe that he forgot that this was the last turn. That's like all the only reasonable explanation. Then he can still finish this. Then he used the efficient upgrade for something. Because otherwise, yeah, you use the this, but even if not, then you forget that you have the Louvre, then at least you would take away the civil service, because this doesn't do anything. Yeah. So massive mistake. And now I was really like, wait a second. How are we doing? And here I look at DrRerNate, and I see that he has some stuff like positional arm, modern army, colonization card, a raid. But his impacts are impact of strength and impact of culture. Now, of course, impact of culture you will never see it, but impact of strength you might see it. And I see Miloslav is the weakest because he didn't finish his wonder, right? And so here's impact of industry. I see the impact of variety. I wanted to make this +1, but yeah, okay, sure, doesn't really matter. And now my turn, because yeah, so let's see my turn. I mean, this is a pretty obvious turn. Just take like civil service, get the other thing for impact of progress, and then I can make one more theater, get another heavy face, and I destroy the lab, not some swordsman or anything, because um, now I can get a 6 harmony, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I can make a farm 6 and 6, so it's a cool harmony there. Impact of science is already out. There's no impact of balance or something that gets owned by this. Only like architecture, but architecture is like giga strong for me anyway, so who cares about that? They won't see it. and also get the Nobel this way, get everything, like impact of variety is insanely big. Like look at this beautiful, like 5 urban buildings, 4 blue tags. I mean, this could be a bit better, I guess, technically, but yeah, super sick. And now I could make this cavalry tactic, but then I would go higher than DrRerNate on the strength. I would get +3, I would go to 37. And what does DrRerNate want to do? He wants to take United Nations, of course, play reserves, and he has 16, and he makes the United Nations. That is 3 + 1 + 2. So then that already costs him 6 civil actions. He has 1 civil action left. He has the endowment, which he really wants to do. So, and he also has like no rock, so he can't make any more strength. So he just wants to play endowment and finish the United Nation. And then if I am not, if I'm showing this tactic, then he will not see this impact of strength. And I calculated right now that basically we're actually equal on the culture, Miloslav and me, if we take all my impacts into account. And I'm a little bit ahead of Doctor, or like quite a bit ahead, like maybe like 15 or something. So I want him to see this impact because then I get 7 points to Miloslav, and I don't care that I lose 7 points to the Doctor. And so this is very important. And now that's of course very funny because this was a tactic that I could have shown earlier, then I would have gone maybe into a war, and then I would have never been able to even have a possibility to even think about getting first. And now not playing this tactic actually works out because I get this 7 points. Now I will say when I start this recording, this game was not finished. So I actually have not seen the impacts. So I thought would be fun to look at it together. See what Doctor does if he actually goes for the United Nations. He does see it also. Yeah, of course. Yeah, and he sees the impact of strength, of course. Here's impact of harmony, which I made very big, 24. Placed endowment, United Nations, reserves, finishes, doesn't have anything to show. Exactly as expected. And I can tell you right now that with the calculations, I am at impact of progress. Yeah, that's when I see it. So I will be at 189, and Miloslav will be at 181 with the +7. Is that already with the impact of strength? And Doctor will be at 180. So me 189, Miloslav 181, and Doctor at 180. And the only impact that is really good for the Doctor is impact of competition, which gives him like +7 compared to me. But nothing else is actually good for him, so he can't win against me. And then Miroslav has some impacts that is like +2 or +3, but there's no 2 impacts that should be able to get above the gap of 9, or what is it? 8. And this also includes the bill bonus, and it includes everything. I also included the 3 points that you would get from seeding, so yeah, I included everything. And I believe there is no chance that I can lose, but unless I did something wrong with my calculation. So, I mean, let's see together. If with architecture, I mean, that is also super good for me. So now it's extremely over. Who the heck see that in? That's crazy. Well, there goes the, like I said, oh no, the scientific method is they put in the impact of architecture, guys. Oh, I would get -2. Wait, that's crazy. Wait, who see that in? Because I don't get it. Like, if Miroslav sees that in, that makes no sense. Or maybe he did see that very early before I made all this multimedia and stuff. That's probably what happened or something. But you could see that coming, that I would try to go for that. But that you probably see it like right after the flip or something. And then I didn't have like 3 of my H3 buildings or something, because otherwise it doesn't make any sense. Or he expected to make some computers himself for like +5. Yeah, so probably Miloslav put it in, but it wouldn't have mattered. They didn't have a chance. And here's the impact of strength as we played around. Ooh, and the Doctor actually now, because of this. Wait, how did that happen? The bit of architecture was not good for him, right? So, oh, but huh? Well, okay, let's see. Or which one is it? A bit of colonies is also good for me. That's so they're insanely good impacts. Like they're all the best impact. Oh yeah, right, because the Bill Gates bonus. Yeah, because I was like, I thought Miloslav had a little bit more than this, but yeah, because of the Bill Gates bonus, he does end up finishing above. But they actually stacked the deck in my favor an insane amount, so I actually win by a lot of points, 23 points. Wow. And how much did we start off? You don't see that often, eh? So we start off with 154 to 38. So that is 16. So I was 16 down against the Bill Gates, right? Normally the Bill Gates is like the best, but I drew like perfect and Bill Gates didn't get computers. So I was like, what did I say? I mean 16 or something? And I end up with plus 23, so plus 39. And I got an exciting finish. Holy. That was the first time I got that. Interesting. 16. 39, getting 39 points against the Bill Gates in the final impacts is unheard of for sure. But yeah, apparently you can get punished by going for the greed because your impacts do suck. But he almost got bailed out with the Bill Gates, but the Bill Gates didn't bail him out. So of course he already got very lucky that the Bill Gates was on top when he had 0 leaders and none of the leaders in the deck would have worked for him at all. He was not set up for anything, I believe. Like this doesn't work. Like none of this works except for Gandhi maybe for two just two cultures. So this was very lucky that he got it. Even getting to 2 rocks per turn was very good compared to 0 rocks, of course. But then he got unlucky with the computers. But then in the end he threw with not finishing the Manhattan. Because if he finished the Manhattan, then he also well then I would have maybe made some strength so that he wouldn't seed like 7 versus me in 0. But then maybe I would have still won because they, for some reason, seeded in like impact of architecture and impact of colonies. But I would have not expected that. But at least, so in the end, it probably didn't matter with not finishing the wonder, I think. But whew, so but and he also got second, so like yeah, I don't think it would have mattered. But I at the start of H3 or halfway H3, I thought I had no chance. So this game was kind of mind-boggling. Like I don't really know what happened. Don't really know what happened, but I'm happy that I got the win. And so let's go to the standings, and now we refresh. And now that looks pretty nice. 17. Now, if Arno wins, he goes to 13, and I'm up +4. And then our game is very important, our last game. If then I then go like second, he goes first, I go -3, I'm still +1. And then my blunder in the last round or in the last game doesn't matter. If I'm +1 or +3, doesn't really matter. If I win against him, then I would go +7 if he would be second. Instead of +9 if I didn't blunder, then it would make a difference, but that is already a really good case. So honestly, I would take that. I think the nice case is that at least if he's first and I'm second, then my mistake from the other game wouldn't matter. Of course, if he's first and I'm last, then I would be -1 instead of +1. That would be an insane big swing. So what I'm getting here is that I should not get last in our last game. The last game it's anyone's game actually at this point. So very tense game. And it's also, of course, Arne doesn't have to get first in their game. I don't know how they're doing, but they're 80%, so they should be close to done. And then, yeah. So still a lot of things that can happen, but Arne does need to play well and probably win this game. And then, yeah, I mean, in our game, it's anyone's game, so yeah, it's really unclear. So he could just win 2 games, Arne, and then he's just ahead. Or, well, no, he's not necessarily ahead. If I get second, I'm still 1 point. So I'm definitely in a good position. But then in our 2-player games, if Arne wins against me, that is, of course, a really big swing. And then, yeah. Very often it will be the case that if he just wins his 2-player games, then he will just win the round. But let's just not speculate too much and just see after this game. We will also know the result of this game, and then we'll be up to date and see how we're doing in the 2-player games. Okay, well, that was a pretty exciting finish, and I'm very happy that I won that because it's pretty important for the standings. Obviously, I mean, any win is sick, but yeah. So see you in the next one. Bye bye.